note, I am honored to introduce Nick Cruse. Nick is focused on empowering working class and oppressed communities through education, organizing, and direct action.
If genocide is not a deal breaker for you, there's something wrong with you. Any party that doesn't draw a red line at genocide is a party that does not deserve to exist. We have Holocaust Harris. Kamala Harris, they didn't remove Joe Biden as the lead nominee for president because he facilitated a genocide. They removed him because he had a bad debate. My name is Nick Cruse of Revolutionary Blackout. My goal is to create a coalition of workers, anti-imperialists, to destroy the two-party duopoly. Calling it two-party duopoly is kind of misleading. It's a uniparty of war and genocide. We must challenge the Democratic Party. They are, like my late great mentor Glenn Ford said, the most effective evil. And there are progressives and liberals that will say nonsense to you because their job is to confuse the workers. They will say some nonsense to you and want you to believe it. They will tell you that you got to vote for Carol Kamala because somehow Donald Trump is worse. Let's analyze the record of genocide Joe Biden. If you're one of the people who believe that Donald Trump will be worse than Joe Biden, you are engaging in genocide denial. You have to tell yourself that Donald Trump is worse because you have to reconcile with the fact that you voted and enabled a gross evil on humanity. Do you guys know who Lily Greenberg Call is? She was the first Jewish appointee in the Biden administration who resigned because she explained that there was a culture of racism in the Biden administration against the Palestinians. You had record amounts of federal employees and Biden appointees that resigned for the same reason. You want to know who didn't resign? Kamala Harris. She didn't resign because she had moral quandaries with the racism of the Palestinian people. To explain why saying that Trump is worse than Biden and genocide now, let me explain to you guys the actions that the Biden administration has taken. You had a giant debate in Israel right now. There was almost a civil war because there was debating whether the IDF has the right to rape Palestinian prisoners to death. And spoiler alert, the pro-rape crowd won. There was a mob of Israelis that stormed where the soldiers who committed mass rape and sodomized a man to death, and they demanded him to be released, and the government said no problem. The position of the Biden administration, when approached with this information, was we will allow Israel to investigate themselves. How will Donald Trump handle that? The same way. You had Joe Biden, who is giving Israel diplomatic immunity during this war. Do you guys know who the legend Aaron Bushnell is? Aaron Bushnell is a martyr complicit with genocide, so he self-immolated because the Biden administration gave the orders of the Air Force to help Israel with targeting in their genocide. Did the media tell you that? No. Aaron Bushnell's death is directly on the hands of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Hope you guys understand that. Genocide Joe Biden and Holocaust Harris enables terrorism in the West Bank. You had an Israeli terrorist unit, they call them military, they terrorist units that engaged and they recently murdered an elderly Palestinian in their own home. In the light of this news, because it was bad publicity, you had the Biden administration that said we may put sanctions on the terrorist units employed by the Israeli military. And man, the media liked that one. The liberal media ran with that for weeks. And what we told you guys on RBN is when I saw the word may, I immediately became skeptical. Yeah. So it was announced last week that Biden will not sanction the IDF unit that committed terrorism in the West Bank. Not only that, they're going to continue the weapons that go to them. So explain to me how Donald Trump would be worse knowing these facts. We have to be clear to the working class, there are two wings of the imperial machine and we must form a coalition to destroy them. You have Bernie Sanders and AOC. Did you guys see AOC last night? So I guess their game plan is to lie. I guess no one knows what the word ceasefire means anymore. Joe Biden said it was going to be a ceasefire the second Monday of February. What month are we in? Kamala Harris called for a temporary ceasefire so the IDF can take a break and get some snacks in between killing Palestinians. And you got people that have the nerve to tell me that she called for a ceasefire. Words have meaning. Please learn them, please. Kamala Harris, if you go to her website, has no policies. Does it really matter if she did? I know when I looked at Biden's website, he had a public option on his website. Do we got a public option? Last time I checked, Joe Biden was supposed to send me a $2,000 check in the mail. What happened? So, do not believe anyone who will tell you anything a politician will tell you and promise you. We are grown adults. Politicians are not going to do anything for the working class. Do not pay attention to the policy platform. Do you guys know who you should pay attention to? Who they are hiring. I warned people about Genocide Joe, and I warned the Bernie Sanders left not to fall in line behind Joe Biden because his advisor was Anthony Blinken. His foreign policy advisor was Anthony Blinken, and you guys surprised he started a genocide? So you want to know who the economic advisor for Kamala Harris is? BlackRock! Kamala Harris hired the same BlackRock economic advisor that was just in the Joe Biden administration. They said, well, if you vote for a third party, you're wasting your vote. You're giving your vote to BlackRock every election. Then you winning something. Don't listen to the platform. Look at who they hire. You want to know who directly funds and benefits from the genocide in Gaza? BlackRock. You want to know who's licking their lips right now at Ukraine waiting to rebuild it? BlackRock. So why would anyone think Kamala Harris would end those things when she hires people from BlackRock? Bernie Sanders and AOC play a very particular role for the establishment. They're here to cultivate a dumb left, an anti-intellectual left, who is filled with people who are political nihilists, who are defeatists. So the reason why they are supporting genocide Joe Biden, the reason why they don't care that they're going to get a public option, because they're so defeated. They are so nihilistic about the future that they believe the only chance that we have to get crumbs is to vote for people who commit genocide. So what social democrats and justice democrats do, they engage in a devil's bargain with the ruling class. They want to sell out Palestinians and the global working class out of the devil's bargain that we will get crumbs from the establishment when they don't do anything from us. They know exactly what they're doing. What we need to do is reject the political nihilism from the people who tell you we have no choice but to vote for genocide. Yeah. I have my brother Rome here with me. We have RBN chapters in 5 cities all over the nation, and we are only 3 years old. Goes around feeding people, giving free haircuts, and organizing the community with scraps. Do you understand what Rome and RBN would do with $400 million that was wasted on the Bernie campaign? I'm begging the left to get serious. I'm begging the left to get serious. It's almost a flaw of mine, where I have almost too much revolutionary optimism.
Okay.
They're not going to defeat me until I'm in the dirt. And what we need to do, you need to figure out what you can do for this movement. I've been playing this very weird position in my life where I'm an educator. Where I'm speaking to you guys right now, I guess this is what I do for the movement. So let's say you got stage fright and you can't do this. Let's say you're not someone like Rome who can engage in mutual aid. Let's say you're not someone who like Savvy Sabs. Let's say you're not like that. You do what you can for the movement. If you're good at baking pies, guess what you need to do when we have a march? Maybe bake pies. If you're good at sewing, I can't. Maybe you should make some shirts. What you need to do, even if you work 60 hours a week, let's say you're doing well in your life, but you still care about the struggle. You work 60 hours a week, you got 3 kids, you don't have time. You know what you do? You fund Rome. You fund the mutual aid fighters. There's no revolution without collaborators. We need y'all. So that's what my call is. On RBN, we laugh, we cry, make fun of the ruling class, but my main goal is to get people activated. I talk to people who live in China and Russia. I talk to people in the UK, Brazil. Last week I had a Palestinian roundtable. And what people tell me, I always ask them the same question, what should people in America do to help you guys resist this empire? We need to look beyond borders and form an international coalition of anti-imperialism because the war has already started. Dr. Joe Stein. How many presidential candidates was arrested in brutal fashion standing up against genocide? When I saw that, I'm like, there it is. There it is. I am doing what I can for the movement, Jill Stein, in her professional capacity, is doing what she can do for this movement, but it's more than just being someone who wants to be a leader. She put her body on the line. That's why I'm supportive of your campaign, but let's not rely too much on Jill Stein. Everyone has a role in this movement. Let's get activated. We need a revolution. Thank you, guys.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe?
Fresh off the masses, the brand new cancerous growth, who has come here to vie for your vote. Come here to cry at the camps and to mourn at the shore for the bodies that float by the wreck of an immigrant boat. Then it's back to their luxury home, couple security booths and a moat. Couple cigars, little escargot, little booze and a soak. Just breathe in the steam and the smoke. Pink salt, lavender, candles are low. Shit, when you do what you do, gotta lighten the load. And he got a life of his own that's a sight to behold. And it's a lot to control, to decipher the code, or to siphon the soul. The cost of a good night's sleep for the working elite is a bargain, no matter the toll. Worth any wager, and that comes straight from the mouth of the means to the goal that will swallow us whole. Right through the picking, if you don't mind mold, and you know I don't. Maybe we're pleasantly prone, maybe we're taking a licking, compliantly ticking and ticking and ticking, but never explode. No, I don't deliver the prettiest image, but damn if it isn't an accurate vision of natural fission, of rage at the system and abject heartbreak, patiently waiting for any who will listen. That little blue bird who was watching your words is a federal carrier pigeon, a Langley first. It's a patient observer who hears what it wants and is trained for the worst. Oh, you got nothing to hide. They'll be the ones to decide that after they root through your purse, after they read all your text, after they raid your apartment, confiscate all of its contents, then conjure up evidence out of the air on a wing and a prayer and malicious intelligence nonsense. Any presumption of innocence long since gone, right along with your comforts and constants. Historically, first they will come for the communists. So why in the fuck would I say I'm a communist? Well, it might be I love my community more than the monsters of opulence who are holding us hostage, who are vomiting promises. Might be I'm all done seeing our pensions and benefits harvested. Might be I'm all done watching the populace being disarmed in the guise of an armistice. Watching a woman collapse on the floor who will rise no more. She is wheeled out the door and you're next in line for the pharmacist. If you can get me to vote, it's a hard no confidence. But part of the charm of deception is politics wearing the mask of incompetence. It's all in the art of austerity, darling. It's all in the slide of the providence. Until home is as wide as your cubicle height and is only as deep as your coffin is. Maybe I'm miles away from impatience, aching to break off the head of the snake where the capital lust, reptile brain, and the margin of profit is. Like off with his. Like off with his.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe?